ฝนตกนะ Rain is coming. Rain, rain, rain. I just made it in here, so hopefully I'll be in here for a little while, and when I get out, the rain will stop. Now, let me see here. Oof. You know, yesterday the dollar was something like 34.7 or something like that. Now it's down to 33.78. Yesterday it was, what was it? Well, that's not a 33. They're 34.88 yesterday. And now it's down a whole point, 33.78. So that's not good, but okay, whatever. You know, it's fluctuating now. A lot of things are up in the air right now. Ah, man. Oh yeah, don't forget. I hate to remind you about this, but the online TM6 form is coming May 1st, and everyone has to file the TM6 before coming into Thailand. Everyone being every foreigner, which I still don't understand. If they've done without it for all this time, why don't you just do away with it? Why do they make things more difficult? I don't understand that, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Fine. But you know what it does? They say within 3 days of coming in. So can you do it while you're on the plane? I mean, if you have internet, can you do that? I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm not really all that worried about it. Today, we're going to talk about what Thailand gets right and just a couple of things that they still get wrong. And after all the time that I've been here, it just never seems to change. Let me get into this here if I can. I'm running a little late today. Yeah, I don't know where am I supposed to start here? I didn't have where's my paper that I had. All right, anyway. If you know who I am, great. If you don't know who I am, I'm Scott. I'm an American who's been living here in Thailand for over 30 years, coming up on 31. If this is your first time in Thailand or first time watching, then very good. Thank you very much. Subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, because that way you don't miss anything coming up. And I think I'm pretty honest about Thailand. I don't think that I'm one of these guys who only spouts great things about Thailand. I don't think that's how I operate. I try to tell the truth as I see it. And sometimes that means, throwing them under the bus, and sometimes it doesn't. I just tell it like it is. Now, if it's something that I can't speak about, that's a little different. There are some things you can't speak about. And, you want to watch yourself a little bit. I'm going, oh, I got something good today. I'm treating myself. Thank you. I'm treating myself because I never do this, and I'm doing it today. Cookies and cream frappe. I can't remember. Probably the last time I had this was the last time I've been in Starbucks. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, like I'm saying, I try to tell it straight. I don't want to tell things about Thailand. I don't want to say things about Thailand that, it's these things are always great. Oh, Thailand is so wonderful. And then the thing is, you get people, you say one thing bad about the country, and you get these people who probably haven't even been here, or they're not even living here. They're a tourist. And they're like, well, if you don't like it, go back home. I am home. This is my home. And you know what? If I didn't like it that much, I would go back home. I don't need you to tell me to go back home. I'll do it myself. I don't need you to tell me that, and you shouldn't tell me that. You should shut up and watch what you do instead of me. I'm not talking to anybody in particular, but there are several people over the past year or so that have been saying these kind of things. And I always find it hard. I mean, listen, we all know if you don't like it here, then you can go somewhere else. Now, I'm not going back to the United States, Oh, man, that is good. Oreo cookie frappe. This isn't about hyping Thailand up or trash talking it. I'm just going to try to speak real. And, I think I've been here long enough where I can see both sides of the equation. I try to, I try to, yeah, I try to just tell it like it is. And if it's good, it's good. And if it's bad, it's bad. It's that simple. And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I haven't figured things out. Um, but anyway, we'll have a little insightful morning. And if it's nighttime where you are, pour yourself a stiff drink. Or don't. It's up to you. Ooh. I'm going to ask immigration next week. Not if you return before May 1st, you don't need to do it. It's that simple. If you return May 1st or after, you have to do it. I am not going to Tokyo right now. First, I'm trying to save money, and I just spent a bundle on Alex's mouth. And second, I want to go when they have some fights. I want to go when they have MMA, like Ryzen or Dream. Or I don't think Dream is still around. Ryzen is still around. Ryzen took over for Pride FC, even though Pride got bought out. But the only thing that got bought out was their library, which I get to watch Pride fights all the time because I have this Fire Stick. No, you're not exempt from anything. Where'd you think that from? Where'd you get that from? You don't get any exemption, buddy. I hate to tell you that. Thailand is the greatest. All the girls are perfect. They all have perfect bodies and they're all slim and they're all subservient. You tell them what to do, they just jump. They tell you, how high do you want me to jump, sir? Well, that's a crock of baloney. Anyway, all right. So we're going to get into this here, what they get right, some practical elements of what they get right. And this is kind of this is the most practical. The first thing is the healthcare. I know Thailand's healthcare is getting more expensive. It's getting more expensive everywhere. But let's face it, Thailand has great healthcare. They have very good healthcare. Now, they're not always perfect, but go to the United States and see what it takes to get in to see somebody. Sometimes you're going to wait for months. It's like, wait a minute, why do I have to wait for months? I need the procedure done in the next week. So that's something right there. And, the public health care is not that bad either. You go to the government hospitals, you might have to wait. That's more like back in the U.S., but the private hospitals here, they're fantastic. I've had to go in. My wife doesn't ever really go into the doctor. She hasn't been in for a long time. She gets her little checkups and that kind of thing, but that's about it. Alex and Nicholas have been to the doctor, and Nicholas has been to public health care. And when I go, I'm always on the private health care. And I don't always agree with them. They try to upcharge me and that kind of stuff. But face it, man, when you're looking at, $80,000 or $60,000 for a hip replacement, and you can have it done here for 10,000, what's the problem? Oh, I got to pay $10,000. I understand. It's still a lot of money. It's money. But you don't have to pay nearly as much as over there. I mean, let's just face it. And you know what? I personally think the nurses are quite nice here. I know several nurses. I've become friends with the nurses from a long time ago. And they're very, very nice most of the time. They have taken good care of me when I needed taken care of. They took good care of me, even when I'm griping and groaning. So, the private hospitals are modern and efficient and they're affordable, and you don't need to wait for months. I mean, you can walk into a hospital and just say, oh, like now I have the Kino tape on my shoulder. And my wife is like, why don't you go into the doctor and see the doctor? I go, listen, unless he's going to do surgery on me, I don't want to go in. He'll do an x-ray, he'll do an MRI, maybe he'll tape it up. That's all he's going to do. He's not going to do anything. So I'm like, what am I going to go in for? Now, if I need surgery, if it doesn't get better after a couple of weeks, okay. But I thought, I'll ice it, I'll heat it, I'll put some tape on it. I have the rub, you get a massage, you rub it with the cream. What is it called? Diphenylene or something like that. You take some ibuprofen, end of story. And you can get that stuff over the counter. In America, you can't get a lot of stuff over the counter. You get dog shit over the counter. Here in Thailand, you get pain pills over the counter if you want. Here you walk in, you see a specialist, and you get your results like usually within an hour. Sometimes it's 3-4 hours, but you get your results the same day. In the United States, that just isn't how it is now. And quite frankly, even without insurance, if you have a little bit of money, you'll be okay. Now, when you get older, that's a different story. You need to have insurance before you get to the point where they won't insure you anymore. When you're 75 and you go, oh, I haven't had insurance in 20 years, and you don't have any money, well, guess what? They're going to charge you up the yin-yang if they even insure you, right? This is so good. Ah, that is tasty. I've had an inaugural hernia left untreated. Come to Thailand, get it done. Nurses here always take pride in their status of a nurse, as they should. I buy generic amoxicillin over the counter. Well, that's nothing, Jim. I mean, that is baby. That is baby, really. Amoxicillin, Norepinephrine, Norgesic, all these things. You get them right over the counter. You want something stronger, you can get it over the counter. And if they don't sell it over the counter, there probably are some places that you can get it over the counter. No, you got to have a prescription, which is nonsense. But what they think is that all Americans are going to go there, they're going to buy all this stuff up without a prescription, and they don't need it. It's going to make things worse. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. Piece of cake here. I mean, really. I can get syringes here. You get needles here. You can get whatever you want. Now, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. For certain people, it's not good. But for the most part, it's fantastic. I go into the pharmacist, and the pharmacist, usually I go into places and they know their stuff. And I went, well, I need a sling. I got a sling the other day. I need a sling. I need some of this. I need some of that. She put it all there. 465 baht for everything. So what is that? 13, 14 bucks? Fantastic. I mean, seriously. And you can get some things that, there's no way you're going to. It's not about popping my shoulder back in place. It's not dislocated. My shoulder is not dislocated. I don't know what gave you that impression. It's a rotator cuff injury, and I've been looking, and there's this right back here in the back, which is, I have the tape all over my shoulder. The muscle or the tendon that allows you to raise your arm up like that, that's injured. Inside right here is injured, and right here. So I just tape it up, man. Tape it up. I can't move it too much right now. I don't want to move too much. I don't want to carry anything heavy. And I'm going back to the gym. I can't lift. I can't lift in the gym. Not right now. I mean, I can lift my legs, but that's about it. All right, number 2 on this list, the food in the street culture. Now, you have to admit that the street food is quite tasty. It's not good for you, but it is very tasty. And it can be very cheap. I mean, when you're getting a meal for $1, $2, that's pretty cheap. You're not going to find that too many places in the U.S. And the street food in Thailand is pretty legendary. Again, though, it's not really healthy. And I'm doing a video about that. The difference between getting street food and buying food at the grocery and eating food at home. You want fried rice, something like fried rice. You buy the rice. You buy some cilantro. You buy some cucumbers. Okay, so what's that? Say 50, 75. You buy the rice. You want to buy the cheap rice. So maybe you're looking at 220 baht. Then you put some meat in there. And, meat might be, we're going to say 100 baht. So what is that? 320? So 320 baht. And you got a whole bag of rice. And you have all this other food. You can have fried rice until it's coming out of your nose. I mean, seriously. With a whole bag of rice, I could make, I don't even know how many meals. Probably 30, 40. And if they cost 50 baht a pop, I'm not spending 1,500 baht by going to the, I go to the grocery, I spend 1,500 baht. I go to the, what do you call it? I just go out and buy it off the street. It's going to cost more. However, if you want grilled chicken at 2 a.m., you'll get it. I mean, it's never really a problem. If you want chicken, you want pork, whatever you want, usually, at least in Bangkok, within striking distance is something to eat. If you live in a condo, in an apartment, usually downstairs they have a couple of little restaurants, a couple of little places you can get food from. So, my Kalman guy is healthy boiled. Well, what do you see that's healthy? You tell me. I'm curious to know. I know what's healthy, but when they cook it up on the streets, a lot of times they're using the cheapest oil. They're reusing it, right? A papaya salad, that's going to be your meal. That's going to fill you up. Somehow, I don't think so. You may have healthy food in the markets, but you're not going to have healthy street food most of the time. Even when they're selling corn, the corn comes with a sugary, buttery. What they do is they baste it with a sugar butter mix, and that way it tastes really good. You want something like mu ping? All right, usually you eat sticky rice with mu ping. A little sticky rice is not going to kill you, but if you're eating sticky rice all the time, like every day, it's not good for you. The mu ping, the pork, they base that also with whatever their sauce is, and it has sugar in it. Now, things like this, I mean, come on, definitely not good for you. So I asked the question, beach life, what's the healthy food you see in the markets? Even gayang. Sometimes they base that with a sauce that they just, and it's got sugar in it. It's got brown sugar in it. It's got all kinds of stuff. Funny, nobody wants to talk now. Veggies and fruits. All right. Well, fruits have sugar, but okay. Yeah, they have veggies, but like I just said, you want to buy fresh vegetables yourself. Okay, that's not street food. That is not street food. I'm talking about pad thai, those kind of things. Natural sugar doesn't matter. It's still sugar. It gets assimilated by the body the same way as a sugar. Yes, it's better because it's natural, but that's what I'm saying. And that is not a street food. An apple is not the same, um, as like pad thai or pad see ew or something like that. Those are all starch. It's all carbs, man. You know? Anyway, but I digress. Just because it's street food and it's great tasting, doesn't mean it's great for you. And what I said was they use oils, and I never use those oils at home. We never reuse the oil. Now I just get olive oil. And I never reuse it. It's never, ever reused. But sometimes that's what they're buying, the cheapest oil. And sometimes they pour it back. They pour it back into a big can. The can's, it's like a jerry can, maybe about that big, that wide. They pour it back in, and then they use it over again. So all I'm saying is you have a little more control if you're buying and you're making it yourself. I talked to John the other day. I was talking about it. He goes, I can't even remember the last time I had a Thai food. He doesn't even eat Thai food. Now, I eat Thai food once in a while, but I've got over the whole, oh, it's so fantastic. Oh my God, I can't believe I can get this. Oh, it used to be, you get fruit on the street for it was 10 baht. You know, you get a bag of pineapples, 10 baht. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Not anymore. All right, number 3, Thailand is practical. If you need something fixed, tailored, delivered, shined, cleaned, whatever, it can be done. There's a workaround for almost everything. People hustle. They want to figure things out. And I would say the West can learn from some of the Thais. They're very pragmatic. And what was it that I needed the other day? Oh, I had some shoes and I needed to have some glue put on. And sure enough, I just walked by a place. Hey, you do that? Yeah, okay. You need your key done? There's like 2 or 3 key makers right around the block here. Just walk over to them. Here's the key. Boom. 5 minutes is done. Now, I mean, you can get that kind of stuff done in the West, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of things out there that, I mean, if I want, I can come in the mall. I can go to Enmark Plaza. I can get film put on my phone. Now, I just come here because it's convenient. But if you want, right in front of the plaza, you can get it. It's like 50 baht. It's not 200. Now, the quality is not quite the same, but, you know, it's still pretty good. Like my kids, man, I mean, they walk around and their phones are all cracked up, the film. You can't even see. I said to him the other day, do you need 200 baht to fix that? No. Well, then why don't you fix it? So then Alex came back to me and he goes, look at this. Showed it to me. The phone looked brand new again. So, you know, there's a lot of conveniences here that you may not have back home. And if you know of any, please let me know what you think. Drop a comment. What is the most convenient or unexpected thing you've come to appreciate about Thailand? Well, that's you. Most people do. I hate to tell you that. You wouldn't have a phone. You wouldn't have a phone, much less film on the phone. Oh, man. All right, so the thing in Thailand that I think people like the most, or one of the things they like the most, is that they have the freedom to be themselves. There's no social pressure to conform. No one cares what you drive, what you wear, or how you live. They may ask you, oh, you working Thailand? Yes. What are you? I'm a matchbook salesman. Oh, very good. Oh, that's it. They don't care. They really don't care. You're good to them, they're good to you. That's the way it works. If you want to live on a shack on a beach, it's no problem. You can go for it. Nobody's going to tell you you can't or you shouldn't. Or maybe you might want this house in the city. You want to be off grid in the jungle? No one's stopping you. Now, there is a chance that this weekend or next weekend, the wife and I are going to Surat. Yeah. Okay. The wife and I are going to go to Surat. Just we're going for one reason. We don't want to go down there and stay for a while and all this other kind of stuff, because the wife has a little time off. She doesn't want to spend it all there. She wants to spend it at home. But we have to buy durian trees and make sure that they get planted and that everything comes off. We need to make sure that they get delivered to the house and they get planted in the backyard exactly where they're supposed to go. And her sister's going to help with that. And so I don't know if we go this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to go. If we go next weekend, I will go. So that'll give me, at least it'll give me a little bit of time outside of Bangkok. which I'm happy about. Nobody really bothers you here, no, which is one of the things I really like. What are they going to bother me about? I haven't done anything to anybody, so don't bother me, you know? Many, many times. All right. Number 5, the live and let live culture. Like we were just saying, Thais mind their own business. They're not out looking to start an argument with you. You do your thing, they do theirs. It's very simple. And, you know, yesterday somebody said to me, they left a comment for me. All right. They said, it was about why Thais. What was it called? I want to know the exact name of this here. Disputes gone wrong. Why disputes in Thailand can quickly turn violent. And I said, don't get aggressive. Don't get in their face. Don't get loud. And some guy writes, so in other words, be a cuckold. Like, listen, if you think that getting loud and getting aggressive is necessary for you to beat their ass, you're wrong. Personally, I think it's better that you're very quiet. Oh, you know, no, not me, man. And then, you know, if they're gonna push it a little bit, boom, you haul off and whack them. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying I think it's better. There's been a couple of times when, you know, I had my hands behind my back or I had my hands at my side and I'm like going, you know, this son of a bitch. I'm thinking in my head, this son of a bitch. But I'm speaking to him very politely, you know. So you don't have to be a pussy. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to be a tough guy either. You don't have to speak a lot. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Be mellow. And, you know, this surprised me at first. When you're mellow, generally, violence doesn't come to you. Yeah, once in a while, you might be in a bad situation or something. It might be a place of, you know, wrong place, wrong time or something like that. But for the most part, when you're mellow, everybody else is mellow. You know, it's as simple as that. You don't have to get into a conflict with everybody. And this is their culture. Their culture is a culture of calmness. Whether it be real or fake, doesn't really matter. Because as long as they are calm with you, then what do you have to escalate for? You have no reason to do that. So remember that. Like I said, you do your thing, they do theirs. Uh, there's also low street crime in Thailand. You can walk around late at night in most places and you don't have a concern in the world. No care in the world. Um, there, listen, generally in Thailand, there are no mass shootings, there are no drive-bys. Uh, for the most part, the people who are asking for money, they don't just follow you for miles and miles to get, you know, 100 baht. Um, so the petty crime is kind of low. And I think that's something people don't want to deal with that. Now, you know, you could say, oh, well, murders happen here. Murders happen everywhere. And I think here what happens is, again, wrong place, wrong time. And then a small percentage, the people might have brought it on themselves. You know, it really depends. Well, This is something that it takes a little effort to learn. If you are not a calm person back home, you can't be expected to just come to Thailand and be calm. You can be expected to be respectful. So if you're decent to them and respectful of them, well, then that's you make fun of them. Well, then they're going to act accordingly. And I've seen some women crack bottles over guys' heads. I've seen a couple of guys jump on a guy. I've seen all kinds of things. But honestly, aside from people being drunk or wired or whatever it is, okay, those kind of situations, that's a little different. Guy's been drinking too much. He's just looking for a fight. You want to get out of those situations if you can. Fake calmness with ties against foreigners. If you mess up, they will jump out on you fast, it seems. Well, I don't know that that's always true. Honestly, I mean, yes, they do. Sometimes they're just, they're looking for a reason to vent. Maybe they hate their lives. Guys are motorcycle drivers and they're like, I'm just driving this motorcycle all day. I make peanuts and it sucks. And then you mouth off to some guy and they go, oh, this is how that guy is. He thinks he's better than us. Then they go off on you. But, and I don't know if you guys remember this, a couple of years ago, I said, I got on the back of a motorcycle guy, a motorcycle. I got on the back of a motorcycle and the guy was driving and I kind of smelled something. And I went, what? And then I go, oh, it's booze. The guy must have been all liquored up. He was just driving around and he missed the turn. And I said, dude, what are you doing? You need, and then I go, I know you're drunk. I go, just stop right over here. So, he pulls over, he gets out. I'm going to give him his money. And he starts going off on me. He's drunk. And I said to him, hey, don't start any shit with me. I'm not the one who's drunk. And he kind of backed off a little bit. And then next thing I know, there was 2 or 3 guys that came over, motorcycle guys. And they said to him in Thai, it's another reason to learn to speak Thai. They said to him in Thai, hey, this guy giving you a hard time. I said, no, but your friend here is drunk. And he's driving the motorcycle drunk. He shouldn't be doing that. Because he's not driving very well. And they all went, backed away. Now, I don't think that they were thinking, oh, this little guy's going to beat my ass. Oh, he's going to beat all of us up. I don't think they were thinking that. I think they just thought, ugh, guy's drinking, they knew. Now, I'm not saying that happens all the time. Sometimes they will jump in. I've seen it. But generally, it's not a split second and that happens. Generally, it's something happens, you respond, they kind of are shocked by what you say something a little worse or just as bad, and you're trying to instigate a problem, and then the next thing you know, guys start hearing it and they start coming over, and boom, they all jump in. It doesn't happen in 2 seconds. Well, Darth's son, when was the last time you were in Thailand? Too many broke Westerners. Yeah, okay. Really, how do you know they're broke? Okay, so it's been 6 years. Now, how do you know that they're broke? How do you know the Indians are broke? Oh, you show money. Well, they have that rule on the table, but they don't show. They don't do it. Most of the time, they never check your funds. And they certainly don't check the Chinese, the tourists. They're not doing that. Well, and they are partly to blame for that. They want as many tourists as they can get. Now, I don't think they're going to hit 40 million this year because of the earthquake and a couple of other reasons. But this is how they are. They want all the people to come that can come. Every time I walk down to the market, I go by a canal. And every time I think, oh, I should take a picture of this. And I've already taken 2-3 pictures of the canal long ago. And I think, oh, I should take a picture of this. This is a perfect example of what kind of canal should not be in Thailand. Filthy, toxic, stinky. And all they have to do is clean it up. They got to figure out a way to clean the whole system up and then maintain it. And then they will attract more affluent people. There's still people out there that I talk to, they go, oh, China, that's a shithole. That's what they think. You know. So what are you going to do? Oh, well, you've got to have money to come to Thailand. We need to make sure that you have $2,000 in the bank. If they do that, people are just going to go, I don't need to go to Thailand. It's from people who pollute. It's from companies. It's from a bad system. It's many, many reasons. I mean, they have the they have the electric boat, and that boat I think is cutting down on the emissions. It's better. But then right next to it, going the opposite direction, is a boat that uses diesel fuel, and it spits out black soot into the water, up in the air. And, yet, oh, well, we've got it together in our city. No, you don't. I hate to tell them that. They don't really have it together. Maybe it's a little thing, cleaning up the canals and that kind of thing. But really, it's something that needs to be done. Now, in my neighborhood, there's a little area, and all it is a bunch of trash. People dump their trash there. It's not a landfill. It's just an empty lot. But if you go down towards the park, there's 2 parks. You go to the left and you go to the right to both parks. Those neighborhoods are spotless. I mean, there is no littering. There is no pollution. It's all really nice. It's like a nice, upscale neighborhood. Well, exactly. People come to Thailand because it's for the value. I mean, let's just face it. If this place was as expensive as Switzerland, people would go elsewhere. Oh, this is the guy. You're the guy who wrote me that letter. LCTR fan. You're the one who wrote me the letter. And I have a video coming up about that letter. I think it's tomorrow or Monday. I don't know. Anyway, you want all the tourists you can get. If they got the money if they get a deal on a ticket to Thailand, like I used to, I mean, really, I used to come to Thailand Well, I know you're full of shit. I'm sorry, but your letter was complete horse shit. I used to come here on the air couriers. I paid $50 one time to come to Thailand, and I was here for 2 days. I flew all the way over. Thank you very much. I flew all the way over, stayed here. You know, I got here late at night, stayed the next day, stayed the day after that, and the next night, uh, I had to come back. I am in love with about, oh God, dude, you really want my harsh opinion? Uh, you'll get it, man. I mean, you're gonna get it because you're a knucklehead. Seriously, if you're in love with a girl that quickly, you think she's that special, and you don't even know her. And honestly, I thought your letter was completely fake. The guy writes me a letter, and I'm like, this letter is completely bogus. Whatever. I understand people try to pull one over on me. I'm like, okay, on the off chance that it's not, and that it's a real letter, dude, if that really is true, I don't know. I don't know if there's any help for you. Seriously, it's okay to be nice, but you need to be practical. You need to be realistic, and you're not being very realistic or practical. Oh, she doesn't want to work anymore. Oh my God. And I know you'll take care of her because that's what you do. Oh, the men take care of the women here, all of them. I understand some do, but usually they're retired. And that's why, because they have the money, they're retired, and they don't want the woman to be away from them for whatever reason. Sometimes I think it's good. The woman's got a job, she gets away for you half the day. You don't have to see her all the time. All right, let me get back to this here. All right, low street crime. I was getting into that. You can walk around late at night. You don't have to worry about much. No mass shootings. No drive-bys. You know, it's a pretty safe place. I'd say in the 30 years that I've been here, I had one occasion where I thought I was going to have to try to protect myself, and that was coming from what the hell's the name of the bus station? What's the South bus station? Oh, Saitai. Isn't that what it is? Saitai? Yeah, Saitai. I was walking. I was out in the parking lot, and there were a couple guys there drinking, sitting out on their car drinking. And I thought they were going to start, they were yelling at me, and I couldn't understand what they were saying because it was a little bit too far away. Um, I thought, oh man, I don't want to have to brawl with these guys, man. You know, I'm like thinking, please. I just kept walking, and that was it. There was no problem. I can't fly economy anymore. I have to use premium economy. No more flights under $1,000 for me. I feel safe there. Well, I mean, I feel really safe here. And generally, obviously, there are different situations that pop up. Generally, if you mind your own business, you're polite and respectful, you will have no problems. And, you know, when you think about it, sometimes, okay, let's just give an example. I go to buy something, and I think it's 700 baht. But maybe it wasn't placed in the right, it wasn't placed where the price was shown. The real price is where it should be, which is maybe 1,500 baht. Now you pick up that package, whatever the item is, and they go 1,500 baht, sir. And you go, no, it was sitting right there where the 700 baht is. What are you gonna do? You're gonna yell and scream at them? You're gonna get all upset? Why? For what? What does it help? Better just to go, oh, okay, all right, let's put that back. Let me get something else. I mean, it's, and they're not very aggressive. It's not like they're all waiting for you so they can beat your ass. Anyway, let's see here. Let's get real. What Thailand still gets wrong? Bureaucracy. You want to stay long term, get ready to do some paperwork. Um, and immigration tends to change the rules, and sometimes they change them without notice. Sometimes you didn't even know it was a rule. Some officers are cool. Some, they act like they're doing you a favor, which maybe they are when you think about it. You want to come in their country. Okay, if you wanted to come in the United States, you think the United States Immigration Department doesn't vet the people? They don't care what people are coming in? They care. Well, then why is it not okay for the Thai people to care? I mean, I understand if somebody's having a bad day. Okay, I kind of understand that. That happens. But shouldn't they do their due diligence? Don't the Thai immigrations have the same rights as the U.S. immigration officers to do their due diligence? Shouldn't they do that? I mean, you don't want people coming into Thailand that aren't safe. I mean, really, when you think about it, do you really want that? I don't. I mean, I look at it like I'll be perfectly okay unless there's somebody that, has a real problem with me, that is a criminal, and he wants to come in and he's going to go after you. And, I mean, it's just, you know, the university professor in trouble. What one thing? I don't even know what you're talking about. There are a few things. The fact that you call a university on their phone number an hour or two after they're supposed to be open and nobody answers the phone. The fact that you come to some places, you come to the shop or whatever it is, you come and it's, whatever shop it is, banana shop, a phone shop. You get there at 10 o'clock, they're supposed to open at 9. They're not open. Then at 10:05, the guy comes screaming up there and he unlocks the door and he walks in. This is Thailand, man. You take the good with the bad. And, if I wanted to sit and make a list of what is bad in the United States that I remember, I mean, I don't even, or that I've heard, I haven't been there and lived there for so long now. I don't even, that's what I say, I don't even care. The U.S. can do whatever they want. It's okay. Most of the time, it doesn't affect me. So the bureaucracy. The other thing, and, dual pricing. It still happens. Thais pay one price, foreigners pay another. And it's not just at the national parks, it's museums, attractions, and even some hospitals. They made it a law that foreigners, they can charge more for foreigners. I saw that, Billy. They can charge more for foreigners than they can for Thais. It's legal for them to overcharge you. Overcharge being you're paying more than a Thai person. That's legal. There's no problem with that. Now, a while back, they wanted to charge me a certain price. I had a VIP card. I said, I have a VIP card. And they said, no, you don't have a VIP. Foreigner don't have VIP. I said, here it is right here. Oh. I said, why am I paying more than the Thai person? I'm not supposed to. And they went back and forth. Okay, well, this time, this is what we charge you. But really, it wasn't just that time. It was, I brought in like 6 boxers to get MRIs of their brain. It was like 14,000 baht. Then a couple days later, I brought in another 6. And they were asking for like 19,000. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was a lot more. I said, no, no, no. And they said, oh, it must be different, different, not same, not same. I said, no, it's the same. And I said, we're going to sit here. You go talk to your boss and find out why the price is so much more and it's only a week difference. You didn't raise the price 5,000 baht in 1 week. Now 5,000 times 6 is 30,000. I'm going to pay almost $1,000 more just because you feel like raising the price on me. And you know, they came back and they gave me the same price as I paid before. And that was the end of it. But I've had to call them out so many times about that. That is one thing that I don't really like about the hospitals. Because sometimes it's not necessarily about the money. I mean, you know, yeah, in this case it was, but sometimes it's not really about the money. It's about the whole principle of it. You know, you could still live here for 20, 30, 50 years, and they're going to charge you triple what a Thai will pay. It makes no sense to me. I don't like that. Now, what is this? What is this guy saying here? I'm looking to do the retirement visa there. Okay. So you're fine with your civil rights being violated. Well, your civil rights, that's more like an American way of thinking. You think that you have your civil rights. In Thailand, you have certain rights. But your rights are not the same as what they are in the United States. You got to learn that right away. Why do you think dark-skinned Thai women, for the most part, don't get jobs that they want white-skinned or light-skinned Thais? Why do you think that is? Do you think they view all people as equal? No, they don't. Crosswalks, sidewalks, one-way roads, tariff on spam too high for years. No serrano peppers. Size large is really a small. Oh my God. What am I supposed to say? Who gives a shit about a tariff on spam? It's imported. What do you expect on something imported? No, you don't have to come here. You don't have to live here. Now, if I wanted, I could take my wife back to the United States. My kids could go. They have a U.S. passport. We all go in on our U.S. passport. She goes in. She goes for a green card. We live in America. She gets her green card. Then she can start working. We could do all this. But do I want to do that? No. You know, there are some intangibles about Thailand that nobody really understands. Don't you think, Tom? Huh? There are intangibles in Thailand that make people want to live here. What tangibles are those? He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't even know why. You see, that's the thing. A lot of people don't even know why they really stay. They just know they like it here. Uh-huh. All right, let me get back to this here. Getting off track. Lack of transparency. Oh, that's a good one. Whether it's politics, policing, or infrastructure, there is still a lot that happens behind the curtain. The Wizard of Oz's curtain. Decisions get made, things change, and no one explains why. In fact, I don't even ask why anymore. My favorite commercial is Why Ask Why. Because here it doesn't really matter why. What really matters is what is the end result. And that can be kind of frustrating, especially for people who are used to accountability, people who they have it in their mind that things need to be done a set way. But in Thailand, they don't care about the way that you think things need to be done. They really don't. They care about how they're supposed to do it. Whether it's their boss told them how to do it, whether they've been doing it for years this way, whether mama and papa told them to do it this way, it doesn't matter. Now, let me see something here. Well, you see, this guy says the best uh, intangible is that you get to sit back and relax and nobody asks you why. Why are you relaxing? Because you can? I mean, I don't know. Right? I mean, you think about it. Now, let me see something here. Well, what I like to know is, have you had any dual pricing problems or any bureaucratic nightmares in Thailand? If you have, please put them in the chat or down in the comments, whatever. I can tell you, I don't know if you remember this, Mr. Billy, but when we went to the ancient city, you paid one price and I paid the Thai price. And it was only because I was speaking to her in Thai. And I was like, come on. Look, I've been here how many years now? You know, and then she, oh, okay, okay. Now back to some of the positives here. Uh, the family ties here are strong. The bonds are strong. You still see families living together, helping one another. You still see kids taking care of their parents. Thank you. I hope they take care of me. I hope I don't need anything really specific to be done. I hope they just, push my wheelchair around. And that structure has not collapsed like it has in many Western countries. In the West, I mean, some people, they got kids. Their kids go out on their own and they don't see them anymore. They might see them once a year or once every couple of years. I mean, I try to go back home at least once a year, but, you know, you always seem to have a bee in your bonnet, Scott. Nothing wrong with that as long as you know how to relax. A bee in my bonnet? Do I have? I don't wear a bonnet, and I don't really have a bee in my bonnet. Did you ever think that, like, sometimes I make a mountain out of a molehill so that you guys will react? Quite frankly, I don't really give a shit about very much. And I've said this numerous times and people don't really believe me. You know, I get people, they write, oh, so and so's doing this in America. Oh, they're voting this way. I don't give a shit. I don't live there. I live here. How many times do I have to say this? I live in Thailand. Okay, the tariffs might affect us here. All right, fine. And if it does, I just won't buy certain items. Seriously. What tourist sites, Jim, did you get lower pricing? Because, nowadays, I mean, the national parks, forget about it. They're just, the last time I went to one it's been a couple of years now. It's been about 3 years. And I went to the Emerald Lagoon. Well, why do you keep bringing it up? Like I said, I don't give a shit. Okay, I really don't. I went to the Emerald Lagoon, and I was like, I thought my wife paid for everything, and she didn't pay for me, and she was trying to get contact me because I was like way behind her, and she was trying to tell me she's waiting for me to catch up. And all of a sudden, this guy runs up from behind me and he goes, "Hey, you pay." Okay, okay. And then when he told me, I don't know how much it was. It was like 400 baht or something. I go, 400 baht. Also, I can go swimming with a bunch of kids peeing in the lagoon, which is really, that's what it is. If you're going to go there once, jump in, jump out. Walk around, walk through the woods a little bit. You'll have a grand time. After that, believe me, you don't want to go swimming in that lagoon numerous times, which I have been several times. And afterwards, I thought, there's a lot of kids in this pool. Too many kids. And I bet you a lot of them are peeing right in the pool. Even though it's, whatever. Bathrooms are close by. They still, let's face it. You got some little 7-year-old kid sitting there. He's peeing in the pool. I mean, they are. Yeah, I mean, listen, I go out in the ocean. Now I think to myself, not only is people shit going out into the ocean, the museum adjacent to Temple of the Emerald Buddha. I don't know the name of the museum. Anyway, let me just go on here. I'm losing it here. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't either. There is some cultural flexibility, and this is the thing. Thais do adapt rather quickly, and they may not admit it. I don't know. Most of them will accept some change, and they don't necessarily freak out about it. They don't get all fired up. It just doesn't happen very often. And their flexibility is something that is quite good. Now, think about this, and I've said this numerous times. 1995, 6.8 million tourists. 2025, almost 40 million. Let's say 35 million. Now, that has to take some adaptation by the Thais. All right. It's easy to be with a Thai woman. Easy to be with them. Hard to get rid of them. Right? I mean, that's the truth. And, my wife ain't perfect, but I'm glad I married her and didn't ever marry somebody else. I might have been in big trouble with somebody else. Who knows? All right. So, and here we bring this up again, and that is their calmness, their serenity. Now, let me see something here. Serenity now. Serenity now. Oh, God. Kwam Sing Suk. Kwam Song Suk. What is this? Landi Suk. I don't know what this means. Let's see. Oh, well, I can't hear it. Somta Kwam Jemsai. Huh. Thai women are quick to get their claws into you. For a Thai man, that's probably why they don't date Western women, language, etc. Yes, probably. Every once in a while, you see some Western woman with a Thai guy or something like that. You know, whatever. Whatever makes them happy. What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to care about that, even though it's not my life? No, I don't. As far as them getting their claws into you, they only can get their claws into you if you let them. You know, once you start allowing them in your life. You know what? The whole thing with relationships, as I see it, is that if you're going to be involved with someone, that means you're letting them into your life. You are getting into their life. That's what a real relationship is. You let them into your life, and they have some say over what is done, and you are in their life, and you have some say over what is done in their life. Now, I don't always like this, but you know, I used to travel a lot. I mean, a lot in Southeast Asia, and then I'd go to South America. You know, I've done quite a bit. And the thing I loved about my wife is she never was like, no, you cannot go. Why are you going there? What are you doing? Never got any of that garbage. All right, call me when you get there. Okay. You know, I'd call her up every night, every 2 nights, something like that. Hey, what's up? Everything going all right? Yes. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later. See you. I love that. You know, no hassle. Now, what do you think of? I don't know, but maybe a Western woman. She finds out you're going to be going to Thailand and the Philippines and Cambodia, and you're going to go to Indonesia, and then, oh, you might go to Panama. What do you think she's going to say? Oh no, you're taking me. And actually, when I went to some of the places for conventions like Nicaragua, was that the place? Yeah, Nicaragua. Um, some of the guys had their wives with them, and all I could think is she's with him because he's not traveling to where he's traveling without her. That's kind of, you know, well, I don't know. And you know what? I am so thankful that I'm not involved in it. This is not a part of my life anymore. I got kids. They know how their mother is. They know how I am. You know, I got a wife. She knows how I am. I know how she is. Much easier than finding another one, getting to know her, finding out her her fibs, learning about her little quirks, and oh god, I'm too old. I'm too old, man. I don't need that, you know. Anyway, let's see. Let's get back to this here. Like I said, the sense of calm. Um, there's a certain feeling here, and this is an intangible, but it's kind of a rhythm. Um, Even when it's kind of chaotic, um, it's not really like anger. I mean, you don't see Thais getting really angry all the time. I mean, I go out every day, and I mean, I can't even remember the last time I saw a Thai that was really angry. Oh, well, I don't know how long ago it was, but I was taking a taxi to go home, and I'm taking the taxi. I'm sitting in the taxi, and there's a guy on a motorcycle there, and then there's the car. They're both merging this way, and the motorcycle kind of stops for the car, and then the car sped up, and then the motorcycle sped up, and the next thing you know, the guy in the motorcycle is yelling at the guy inside the car. The guy in the car is going, he's opening his door up, going, what's your problem? What do you want? And the guy in the motorcycle was like, oh, you want to fight? And I was like, Jesus Christ. That was the last time. But you don't see that very often. Not enough, really. I'd like to see it a little bit more. But between ties. Yeah. Okay, so hospitals, you can walk into hospitals. That's fantastic. That's a great plus. What's the immigration story? Oh, well, you go to immigration and you think you have every paper that you possibly could need, you possibly are going to need. And immigration, oh, no, you forgot this paper. What do I need this paper for? You bring back tomorrow. Thai neighbors can be very helpful. Let me tell you something. Our neighbors bring us fruit, bring us sweets sometimes. They bring us, sometimes they bring us food. And we do the same to our neighbors. We get some fruit and vegetables from down in the south, and we got too many for us. We can't possibly eat them all, so we just put them in a box. We give that box to one person, another box to somebody else. So that's pretty good. And then they kind of look out if somebody's like standing around our door trying to get through the door. They'll let us know, or they'll say something. If they know we're not there, they're going to say something. They're not the sort who's just going to sit back and go, oh, I'll let them break in, no problem. No, they're going to say something. So that's a good thing, obviously. And something that I have heard is that the vibe here in this country helps people's mental health. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but over the last 30 years, I would say I've become a lot more mellow than I used to be. And to me, that's enough. It's done that for me. Now, maybe old age has done that also, and then, dealing with bureaucracies, there's only one thing you can do. Take a deep breath and just relax. Don't let it get to you. Yeah, but you've got a knucklehead point of view, man. I don't know what they're saying to me, so I don't care. Listen, I got another video coming up. It's about language. And, the bottom line is you need to learn a modicum of the language. You need to learn the basics. Not just Sawadee Cop. You really do. And, Jono is really starting to make some headway now. And I'm glad. I'm glad for him. I know a lot of guys. Listen, I know there's one guy that I know. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. But he was here a couple of months before me. And he never learned any of the language. He knows how to say how much, go straight, left, right, and Sawadee Cup, and that's about it. And I understand some people, they don't care. They're just living in Bangkok, and it just happens that Thai people are speaking Thai. They don't ever want to speak to them. They don't ever want to get involved in anything. And Okay, I understand that. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. But then when you're older and you got less people around and you want to talk to somebody, you're not going to be able to talk to any time. I mean, sometimes sometimes don't give a shit that you're a foreigner. They don't care anything. They don't even, it doesn't even cross their mind to think about screwing you over or anything like that, because they got their own lives to worry about. Maybe they got great lives. You know, sometimes this is what always gets me is people think Thais are so poor. We're not talking about 30 years ago, 50 years ago. We're not talking about that. We're talking about now. A large percentage of them are middle class and above the poverty line. Now, I think the poverty is only, what is it, 4 or 5% here? It's not that much. What is it in America? 11%? I mean, right? Most people, that's what they think. Oh, those poor people. Oh. What was it the guy said to me the other day? Oh, it was about the motorcycle guy. Listen, I paid the guy, even though he screwed up and he hurt my arm. That accident hurt my arm. It was his fault. I did not tell him that. I didn't jump all over him. I paid him his money. And then later, I think the next day, he told me, no, 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 no. You don't pay. You don't pay. Now, it was only 35 baht. And somebody said to me, oh, I would feel so bad you didn't pay him. I'm like, what do you think? You think these guys have absolutely no money and they're flat broke all the time? Oh my God. You guys probably got a wife. She's making money. He's making money. They're smart about how they, I mean, some of them, they pinch their satang, you know. They're not going out and going, oh, let's go to this concert. Yeah, let's blow 5,000 baht on a ticket. They're not doing that. They're like, oh, this piece of fruit, I can get it here for 10 baht instead of at the mall where it's 20 baht. That's what they're doing. I don't care about the GDP, honestly. What I care about is how much they're making. Thailand's GDP is projected to reach, what did you say here? Oh, GDP per capita. 7,754.14. This is an estimate. It also says 8,900, which, if it's 8,900, let's say 9,027. That's about, let's say 320,000. So that's yeah, that's about 25,000, 25,000 a month. So even 25,000 a month, I guarantee you, if a guy is married and him and his wife are making 45,000 baht a month, they can live fairly well. And if a guy who's making 25,000 or above 25,000, I guarantee you they're living well if they're single. I told you the story about my kid's friend the other day. My kid was making 35,000 a month last year. He worked for 3 or 4 months, but his friend got a job at Thai Airways. Friend went to school where he went. Everything's pretty much the same, other than my kid's got the jaw problem. He's getting it fixed. Everything's working out all right. But this guy went to work. He makes 80,000 a month plus $150. That's more than 5,000 baht for every single day that he lands in another country. which is about what, 12 times, 14 times. So what's that? We'll say $600, $700. That's another 25. So he's earning over 100,000, and he's a single guy. There are quite a few people like that. Now, most foreigners, they don't know Thais like that. All they know is a Thai who's working as a cashier behind the counter, or somebody who's at 7-Eleven, and they're earning peanuts. But there's a lot of people out there making some real money here in Thailand. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, let me say something here, see if I'm finished up with this subject. Oh, how do you deal with bureaucracy without losing your mind? Thailand is not perfect. I've never said that it is perfect. No country really is. But the difference is that Thailand gets enough things right to make life livable, affordable, and most of the time enjoyable.
And I contribute to that conversation. It's actually positive.
Okay.
Knowing Thai culture and understanding that teachers hold a very special place in Thai culture. They're highly respected. So when I go to a government bureaucratic office,
Mm-hmm.
I never ask for their help. I never demand for their help. I simply phrase it in a very specific way. Can you please be my teacher
Oh,
about how
God.
to do this? What does the government bureaucrat do?
All right, Tom.
They start filling out the papers.
Enough,
for me.
enough. All right. I don't need to hear this shit.
I gave that to my Thai friends. My Thai friends.
Will
use
you
that
be my
same-
teacher?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
And
All right.
they
Enough.
love
All
it.
right.
They
You're a little
suck it
too
up.
excitable. You're a little too excited. The red tape sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you do it his way, my way, any way. It doesn't matter. The red tape generally sucks. The dual pricing can feel a little bit insulting, and the rules kind of shift like sand. But the healthcare is solid. Food is pretty darn good, even if it's not really healthy. You get plenty of space from people most of the time, and the cost of living is pretty much, it's likable for most people. Most people love the cost of living here, and even though it's more expensive now than it used to be, nobody really gripes and go, oh, Thailand, it's too expensive. Only a few people do that. Um, but I think the most important thing is that Thailand offers you a shot at peace and quiet. And in my village, I have plenty of peace, thankfully. Um, and the one thing that I really don't particularly like about this place, but it's their own way of doing things, and that is they flip flop. They cannot seem to make their mind up about many things. They will throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. They throw 20 things on the wall. If one or two of them sticks, then that's what they go with. That's something I don't particularly like. Yes, I've already said the pollution here kind of sucks. Traffic kind of sucks. Um, that's pretty much all that pollution and traffic are pretty bad. Now, what is this guy saying here? Uh, Thais are willing to hustle, not a litigious. It used to be said that you can judge a county by two things. A county?
Country, I think.
You mean a country? Well, what's funny is Thailand has a better phone system than the United States, and they have better internet than the United States for the most part. They have better banking than the United States. Just about everything is better. Now, the air, what is the air quality right now? I forgot to check today. Not very bad. It's somewhere around 65 or something. That's what I was seeing. 86. Okay. So the air quality is 86 right now. It could be better. Flew into Bangkok yesterday, and you can see the smog over the city. Well, where most cities, when you fly in, you can see the smog, so that doesn't really bothers me. What really bothers me is that the pollution is tends to be a bit of an issue. I mean, now let me see something. All right, that was that. Let's see, what is this? Better nightlife, better women. Yeah, you brought your wife. Wife is coughing. I've got sore eyes because of the air quality. Air quality is not that bad right now. If you got a sore throat and you're coughing, I don't know what to tell you. Nothing I can do about air quality, so I don't give it too much thought, to be honest. Oh my God. I get questioned on everything. You know that? First of all, well, the government can do something about the air quality. That's the only thing. I don't really complain about it because most of the time it's not like it's 200. If it's between 50 and 100, all right, I kind of understand, but I'm working towards living somewhere where the air quality is quite good. And that's something else that um, I've been meaning to do, and that is figure out, put a list of my wants and my haves and have nots for countries, for places to live. And then when you have all those compiled, then you punch everything in and you look for the places that are best suited to you. So that's going to happen soon. But air quality and traffic, and also a hospital fairly close by, um, those are some of the things that I'm thinking about right now. I'm sure there's a lot more. When you say food isn't, no, I know that. I know, Lou. I didn't think you were. I'm just saying that air quality is always, it's always an issue, but right now it's not terrible, but it's not great. But I would like to live somewhere where the air quality is great. Well, go to Hua Hin, but I'm telling you, Hua Hin is not the same as it used to be. I wouldn't live there anymore. No way. Hua Hin is a tourist trap now. And there is traffic and there is pollution every once in a while there. There are better places to live, in my opinion. But whether or not you want to go to them, that's a different matter. When you say the food isn't super healthy, I didn't say the food. I said street food. Do you mean restaurant food? Well, some restaurants, they're healthy and some are not. But I'm talking about street food. Grocery stores have plenty of healthy food. Well, watch the video. I got a video coming up about that. You watch the video. Okay? Street food and eating in restaurants is one thing. Eating street food is another. And as far as listen, they're all the same now. Cha Am's a little better. Prajuap is a little better, but Prajuap Cha'am, Hua Hin, they're all they're tourist areas. And Hua Hin did not used to be a tourist area in the past. It was where Thais went for their holidays on the weekend. And it used to be where the monarchy went. But now that doesn't happen anymore. And you have it's too many tourists. I mean, what Billy, when we went there was what, 2, 3 years ago? And then I was like, man, I'm really surprised about how much traffic there is. I couldn't believe it. And then, we were staying at the Hilton, but I looked down on the beach and they got this horse walking around. They're giving somebody a ride on a horse. And there's a guy walking around behind the horse with a basket where he can catch the horse's shit so it doesn't go on the sand. I'm not a fan of Hua Hin anymore. I am not a fan of many more places now than in the past. Things have changed. Listen, live wherever you want. Doesn't matter to me. You can live wherever you want, but I think there are better places to live. Yeah, anytime they say, oh, that's the next great retirement destination, then it's over. I've already said it in the past. Thailand is over as a top destination. It's still a top destination because of the Indians and the Chinese and the Russians and some of the people from, say, the UK, the US, and everything. Okay, I understand that. But for people who have traveled and people who know about Thailand, it's over. They're not coming back. Yeah, well, that's great. I've been to Belgium before. Yeah, I don't really I don't understand the allure. Everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Hua Hin. Woo-hoo. Oh God, it's boring. It's a boring place. I like Prajuip a little better because it had some je ne sais quoi, if you will. But now it's kind of like, the last time I went, there were people doing aerobics right by the beach. And I mean, I'm not talking about like 3 people. There were 3 people doing aerobics, 3 or 4 people doing aerobics on the beach every morning in Kanom. But, well, how are they going to do that? How are they going to put a limit on the number of foreigners that come to Thailand? Maybe what they do is they say all foreigners can come to Thailand that are tourists. They can come for 3 months once a year, not 6 months, 3 months. That's it. Or, but the problem is that people are doing business, and some people are doing business where they are 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off. And so they come to Thailand and they spend their time here. So you're trying to please everybody. You're trying to please the masses. So you're not going to be able to please some people. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's like me saying I'm the only foreigner in Thailand that likes turquoise. Everybody else likes red, white, and blue. So I want you to make something up for me. And the Thais go, no. You're like, a hundredth of a percentile. It doesn't do us any good just to cater to you. It's the same thing. I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Make it like Bhutan? Make it like Tibet? I mean, I couldn't believe how much it was just to go to Tibet. The flight's not that expensive, but then the visas and everything else, you got to be on a tour. I just was, it's kind of, I would say that kind of discouraged me a little bit. Well, that's what you say. That's not what I say. You know, I mean, I've been to a lot of places where there are very few tourists, and they may be a little harder to get to. Uh, yeah, usually they'll be a little bit harder to get to, but there's not a lot of tourists there. You know, I mean, a lot is relative, but there are still some hidden gems. And I've been to a few of them, you know, over the years. I mean, listen, this channel's been up now, I think it's almost 13 years. Maybe it's 12, I'm not sure. And over these years, you know, not only have I gone outside of Thailand many, many times over, but I've been to a lot of places in Thailand that, you know, most people don't know about. I mean, let me just ask you this. Have you been to Bangkok? Bangkok? Have you been there? Nakhon Phanom? Those are really easy places to get to. And yet, most of the tourists that I saw were Thai tourists. So there you go. What is going on? I think my computer is getting a little long in the tooth. Most Thai people have not. What was that place that I went to? Was it Chiang Dao? Um, I think that's what it was. It was Chiang Dao. And that was another place. You know, there's no foreigners there, man. I mean, you know, I went there and it's a spread. It's a big province, and I went to numerous places. Um, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know that like in Bungkan, I went to the Wat Putok, the temple where you walk around on a wooden. There's a wooden plank that goes around and goes up the mountain, and it's a fairly narrow. The wood is fairly narrow. You have enough space where you can just walk a little bit. But when, like with me, I had a backpack, I had my gimbal, and I'm trying to walk, and then the rocks are overhanging onto the planks. So you have to hunch down, you go, and you're, I don't know what it is, 2,000 feet up, 1,000 feet up, I forget, but you're way, way up there. You make a mistake, that's it, it's over. You know, having a little bit of technical difficulties here. I don't know why. Let me see here. Oh, and I forgot to answer something. No, the burning season is not over yet. It'll be over. It should be fairly over by the end of this month. All right, now we're getting it back here. Hang on a second. You're out of here? All right. I'll talk to you later. I don't know what's going on with this. Here we go. A local in the Philippines told me that the tourists all want to go to places where tourists don't visit. Well, I mean, that's what I want. And, you know, what I do is I set out and I find these places and I go to them. I've done it many times over. But I don't want to go, you know, listen, if some of my friends are going to Pattaya and they want me to go there and we can hang out for a couple of days, all right, I understand that. But I don't want to go there like just because I want to go and I want to go to the bars. I don't need to go to the bars, man. You know, it's not like I'm pulling a bunch of chicks or, you know, I'm not into that anymore. And I'm not really into going out and getting plastered. So what's the point? Go waste money for what? It's not fun anymore, you know? So there are things to consider. Oh, okay, it is updating now. All right, I got this back now. We're all good. Plenty of places to go. In fact, I need to write this down here. Hang on one second here. What are we going to put here? You know, I love Kokut. I thought it was fantastic. However, it could have been, you know, could have been the place that we were staying. It was so great, and we had such a good time. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, knock on Phnom. I mean, you know, well now you know. I mean, okay, that's another issue. I mean, you know, I've been to Konkan. I don't want to go back. Doesn't There's nothing that makes me go, oh, I want to go back. I've been to Nong Khai several times because I used to live in Udon Thani, and there's not much that makes me want to continue to go there. It's not the same. I've been there, you know, 20 times. I don't want to go back. And sometimes I've been to places and I continue to want to go to these places. Kalkut is great. Do you remember? There's some villa and spa. I forget the name of it. Let me see if I can. Let me see here. Hat Panom. Konkan is just another big city. Well, what is the name of that? Let me see if I can bring it up here. I might know it. High Season Pool, Villa, and Spa. That's the name of it. And let me see here. Let me see something here. Let's see something. Okay. High Season. What? Exceptional rating. It was a great place. I really liked that place, man. It was the bomb. Quite nice. I really liked Klanchang in the south. Not the one to the east. I like the one in the south better. Much more peaceful. It's next to Kopayam. All right, let me see if I can get the price up on this right now. Okay. So the Grand Pool Villa is 14,079 baht. And I think that's the one that we had. You can get the beachfront pool villa suite. No, that's the one we had. We were right there. So 19,070 baht a night. Not cheap. It was that was an ordeal. That was quite fun. Very fun. Now, what time is it? Almost 11 o'clock. My kids are supposed to be here at 11 o'clock, and I know they won't be. Anyway, but I mean, how do I compare them? To me, I don't remember it being anything really measurable. They were both the same to me. They were both very, very nice. You know, there's a couple of places I've looked for places that just had like crystal clear uh, view. You can see the bottom of the ocean and stuff like that. Just like in the Florida Keys, in some of the places, you go out on a boat, you're out in the middle of the ocean, you look down, you can see all the fish swimming around. You can see the bottom of the of the seabed. You can see the seabed. Very, very nice. But there are quite a few places, and I think that's what I need to do. I need to do something like a hidden gems type of uh you know a hidden gems type of video. That's what I'm looking for. Crystal clear water. You know, that'll do it. Anyway, when I say that'll do it, I mean that'll do it. I think that's about all I have here. We talked about some of the things that Thailand gets right, some of the things they don't get right. The flip flopping, that's something that I just have to, all I do is laugh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to make marijuana, we're going to make marijuana, we're going to make the cannabis industry, it's going to be all medical use only. You know, no, it's not. I think we went to was it the pier by Kwa Chang? I forget how to get there. We went to the pier and we took a boat and then we got there and that was it. How to get. Actually, we went in this place and then we had to wait for the minivan and then they took us somewhere. A bus to Trot, then a ferry or speedboat to the island. Yeah. Oh, you can go to Lam Sok Pier, but if you go to Trot, yeah. Okay. I don't remember which way we did, but I know that it took about, I don't know, it took like 6 hours to get there, something like that. It wasn't easy. All right, listen, this would be the last time I'm streaming for, I don't know, 5 days, 7 days, a week. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do anything for Songkran other than stay in the house and relax. I don't really know, but I do have a bunch of videos coming up. They're scheduled. Everything's ready to go up. So that's good. But that is really all I have. You make no sense, dude. What is WS in the chat for UNC? I don't understand. What does that mean? I have no idea what you're trying to say. Thank you, Jay Easy. Well, pray that you're the only person in Chumsang. WS in the chat for UNC. You got me, buddy. I don't speak pidgin English. So, I don't know. Maybe, what's today? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15th is the Tuesday. That is the last day of Songkran. Tomorrow is the first day in some places, and Sunday is the first day in other places. It really depends on where you are. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do anything, honestly. So if I am, I am, and I'll see you sometime during Songkran. And if I'm not, I'll see you sometimes after Songkran. I don't know. I'm not sure. WS thumbs up. Oh, I got it. Now I know. WS uncle. Saturday I'm going out for meatloaf. Well, that sounds tasty. I think probably in the next 2 or 3 days I'm going to make meatloaf because I got some ground beef in the fridge that needs to be cooked up. You're welcome, Brian. You're welcome. What was I gonna make that was, I don't know what it is. I don't even know. I'm trying to figure it out. Try to remember everything I've got planned, but sometimes I just sit down and start watching TV and then I try to remember everything. I can make some meatloaf too. Some good stuff. I can make sloppy joes. I can make all sorts of things. And yeah, my knuckleheads, they're supposed to be here at 11 o'clock. And I didn't wake them up. I didn't tell them anything. I didn't say, hey, but yesterday I told them you need to be here at 11 o'clock. Actually, a couple minutes before 11 o'clock, because I got to take them into the bank. Nicholas lost his bank card and he needs to get his bank book updated. Alex has a bank book that he hasn't updated in 6 years. So I know that bank book's going to be filled up and then he has to get a new one. Okay, no problem. No worries. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 10:59 exactly. Now it's 11. All right, I got to go, but I will talk to you guys later. All right. Choke the Lil Jerk and I am Scott, an American in Bangkok. Arrivederci.